Alright guys, welcome back after a semi-long sort of hiatus for me. Um, Life is hectic between work and college and everything else I've got going on. But this week I am going to do a short summarization of some issues some people have been having posted via comments, and also offer a community challenge for those wonderful 68 people that are subscribed, with the exception of Jerry, and you know who you are. Um, First things first is that over on the Acid Planet webpage, um, we have the annual 8-pack battle coming up. And since there are several people that have joined and subscribed to my YouTube channel, and probably have several other friends that are interested in either producing or learning how to make their own music as well, this is where the community challenge that I'm going to offer is going to start. You need to go to Acid Planet, and of course go up here. And normally I wouldn't, if you're not signed in and have an account, you need to do a sign up and create an account so you can access our community forums on our website. Go to community, go to forum, and you'll see on the drop down here we have battles, and you'll see the 2012 8-pack battle tournament question mark here posted by Fantasy. And on this, you'll notice we have a list of people that are first up to do battle, and we have some reserve. I'm currently in the reserves as I am really tight on time, which is why I haven't made videos answering a lot of people's questions yet. I'm going to try to address some of those, like I said, here in a minute. Um, the community challenge I'll post is that if anyone that can join via my YouTube channel, join Acid Planet, go to our, and if you don't have Acid, or like if you don't have the money to pay for the full versions, um, you can download Acid Express, and it is the free version of the software. We've talked about this before on the screen about the free software plus the free content, but that's not applicable to this contest. So download the free software, and then on the free downloads under 8-packs is where you will find the music you'll need. And you'll get them every week when they come out on Friday afternoon, usually around noon Eastern Standard. It depends on who's paying attention, who's working that day, apparently. Um, but you have to get signed up to the website and join the website, and then post in this forum topic that you would like to participate. Anyone that participates that is a subscriber of my channel, and if they win the overall, or whoever places the highest based on my YouTube channel listeners and subscribers, I will personally make them a DVD full of sample material, which is like 4.7 gigs, probably a little less, probably like 4.43 depending on the data compression, out of the 100 plus gigabytes of stuff that I have on my computer. And I will probably let them determine the genre and style of loops that they would like, since most people that are probably watching these videos are doing loop production and that kind of stuff. So there it is. That's my community offer and challenge for anyone who can join up, and then to help feed the ranks of our dwindling Acid Planet community. And this will also help get you involved. The way 8-pack battles work and the 8-pack battle tournament works is when it starts in the first week of November, the first Friday the pack becomes available, you will download the loops and have a production day, and you have 3 days, which are Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, to produce, which is what the red P's are for, your track that you wish to submit in the battle. Now, we'll get to the rules about the battle here in a minute, but I want to explain time frame requirements. At Sunday night at midnight Eastern Standard, generally speaking, everyone has to be uploaded by then. You then have until Wednesday to be voted by the community of people that are taking place inside the battle. They'll usually write a short synopsis of what they liked or didn't like about both tracks, and then vote for one of the songs. And then on Thursday, there will be a tally of the votes, and it also gives Fantasy or whoever's in charge time to make the forum postings for the next set of battles for the following Friday. So this will be a ongoing thing for a month or two, depending on how many people are actually involved. Rules stating currently are single elimination, 1 week per battle. If a person has to drop out, I mean, they can forfeit. Like if things come up and they just don't have the time or ability, that's fine. You know, life happens to everybody. You know, no one's safe from that happening by any means. Um, Once you get that material, of course, you open it up here in Acid. This is the current 8-pack that's out right now. You'll notice there's more than 8 tracks. That changed several years ago. I've covered this before. Um, you can only use these packs. Now, on the forum, you'll notice... Oops, I don't want media player open. You'll notice that we have the extra 8-pack battle information, stuff like that. We used to allow other drum loops and stuff in, but we don't do that anymore. You work because that's when we only had 8 loops, and then we had a drum kit that was being used, and that's no longer applicable anymore. The other things that are applicable, there are no VSTs allowed. Um, However, if the VST that only acts as a loop trigger, that is allowed. MIDI sequencing is allowed, MIDI edit and MIDI triggers are allowed, but you cannot use anything that is not of these sounds inside the 8-pack that you get from the website. To ensure the validity of this, if a person from my channel wins the contest, and to ensure that I'm fair in distributing the prize to the winner, I will have them send me their .acid file, the file that you create after you're working on something. I will have you create an ACID zip and send that to me. I will find the FTP, probably like Dropbox or something, and have you submit that to me. I will individually open that file, sort through it, make sure that it is 100% legit, and then announce the winner and have something I want you to do for me once I get that stuff sent off to you. So, yep, that's pretty much it for that. If there's any questions, you're feel free to comment in the comment section below, of course. I would like to see several people that are on this YouTube channel sign up and participate. It'll give them a lot of good practice at slicing and chopping these loops. Like that's a decent thing. But it'll give you a lot of the practice from what the things I've shown you guys previously, and also I'm working on and some other stuff. It's kind of, I know it's going to be kind of maybe more pressured for some people because they don't have the skill set yet. Maybe they don't feel super comfortable working with loops, or they're not very good with their chopping. But honestly, this will give you a lot more practice than you would get normally if you don't think about just forcing yourself to do it. It'll be a really good, useful tool, and help your learning processes. And that's actually the reason why we did these to begin with a long time ago. It's just a way to challenge yourself to work with a limited set of material and to try to create something that's completely out of the ordinary and blow, like, and try to blow the other person out of the water with it and say, like, wow, it's like, it's like I never would thought of using these things the way they had done it before, and to create some of the sounds. And sometimes you'll get some stuff that you'll honestly think weren't created with the sounds, because of the way you can compress the sounds with the effects that are available in the program. It's just all kinds of interesting things can happen and will during these battles. Alrighty, that's it. Participate, try to win, and remember, top YouTube performer will receive special promotional loops and samples from me, and we'll have a good time with that, I bet, no doubt. Now I'm going to transition and talk about some comments people have left on the page. I'm just going to go through these real fast. And I was going to type them up and put them on the screen one by one in slide format, but I just decided to say screw that. This is response to one of the videos I did about one of the songs from Silver Foxtrot. He asked me if I can do a cinematic piece, something orchestral like I'd hear in a movie soundtrack. I have like an action soundtrack kind of thing I've already worked on for something, and I will probably post that so you can see how I did it, and it will help you, probably. I think these were two different questions. I don't remember or not. From one Woodrow here. Which one, in your opinion, is much easier to use? This is relating to Fruity Loops and Acid. I want to start creating my own beats. I got Acid, but I can't seem to figure it out, and I want to get Fruity Loops Studio. But if FL is much harder, should I keep trying with Acid, but which is more simple? Each can be as simple as you want to make it. You, whatever you devote the time and skill into learning, you're going to become more proficient with. I suggest using them as side-by-side tools because they're the two that I prefer. A lot of people prefer Cubase and Reaper and Reason and um, Ableton and all sorts of stuff. There's all kinds of DAWs out there, up to Pro Tools and GarageBand and EJ and Magic's Music Studio, and there's all kinds of stuff you can get your hands on. Um, Proportionally, Acid Pro, if you get the Pro version, or Music Studio, which just released Acid Music 9, which I still haven't gotten yet. Um, Working and stuff has kind of played a part in that, and also like the $500 I've spent fixing my car lately. Um, I think Acid is really simple to learn. I've played with almost everything, and with the exception of stuff like EJ and Magix, which are absolutely created for people who have no idea what they're doing and just want a drag and drop program. Those are great for that, and sometimes even those programs like Magix Pro has some pretty good synthesizers built into them for what it's worth. I mean, they're not bad, surprisingly. Um, I'd say just play with whichever one you want. If you want to do solid beat production though, and just do beats, I suggest Fruity Loops the whole way. It is way more lined out for it. There's a way to render your loops in. Oh, shut up, fax machine. There's a way to there's a way to render drum patterns and loops and then import them and use them in Acid, which will make them easier to play with as a total. And that's what I suggest doing if you're going to go about it that way. So Maria's question here about can you create beats on Acid? Yes, again, still much more difficult to do. You'd probably rather prefer to do it on Fruity Loops. Damn fax machine. How did I put loops in a song? The Levy Lightning. Dude, it's real simple. You have to find your loops wherever you put them on your computer. Whenever you open a folder, they will pop up in this window. You can either drag right where you want it, or just double click it, and it will open up, and you can paint it. That's all it takes. Pretty simple in that one, actually. How come I use the groove pull stuff and drag to the audio track and press play? There's no sound. I don't know. This is the groove pull down here. The only thing that I could tell you is that maybe if you go to your volume control options, make sure your speakers are set to the right output, and also make sure your master, make sure you haven't set a bus, which in AMS8, which is what I'm in right now, where you have the sound mapper here, make sure it's on your default sound mappers. And yep, there you go. And that's why it's right there, sound mapper. And make sure you haven't changed it. If you have something like MorphX Audio and Screaming Bee and some other little dumb things that add virtual sound card drivers, it can screw that up for you, and that could create a problem. And you don't want those, and you have to go through and manually change them. Moving on, I have a USB mic connected. When I record it with onto a track, once previewed, it sounds delayed. I try to slide over to correct it, but the point slides. According to the many box on the track, but where it needs to be in the middle of the box, any help? This is probably a latency issue with your processor and your recordings. Like if I hit like putting the insertion point here, and I hit record, it's going to start picking up the sound of my voice as I start doing it. Now the problem is that, let's see, we'll hit done here. If I put the same insertion point here, like again, and then I hit record again, it'll start recording over it, and then it's gonna screw itself up. Now you can insert a new audio channel, and then mute this one, and then you can like have two things recorded in the same place and position, but you don't really need to be doing that. And I don't know if that's exactly what you're talking about, or if you're talking about like whenever you're playing it, like it's delayed afterwards, which then again it becomes a latency issue. It has something to do with how much RAM you're boosting plus the processor speed at how fast it's encoding it. Likelihood, if you're having that problem, you're probably using a a laptop or a desktop with a really old or really outdated sound card and driver system, and it might be just fixed by updating the sound card driver. I would try that first, and then try going from it from there. Um, and the theater, I understand all the theater. Don't really understand the buses idea. The buses are only applicable really to Acid Pro. In studio here, when we see these buses all over here, like this is just every one of these is like the individual sounds. You see channel one here. This is channel one audio. It just says audio. But if we solo this out and play it, I'm gonna drop this down so you can hardly hear it. See how it's jumping there? That's the individual channels. Like you can adjust these. Like this slider, I see me pulling it here, and it's adjusting it over here as well. It's the same thing. And so for the most part, I don't even use these things. Like to be honest, because like everything up here is exactly the same. So generally speaking, since the buses are so useless in this, unless you're using MIDI, I just leave the preview and the master on and leave it alone. Because it also lets you minimize how much your screen is being taken up. But if you need to individually like look at your MIDI or your audio, you can go back through and find it later. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't really use it that often, so I wouldn't worry about it unless you're using the pro version. How do I get rid of the chipmunk song when they're singing? I have no idea what you meant by that, to be honest. I am assuming you mean that you sped up the song too much. And that can be adjusted by right-clicking and going to the properties, and also going to the beat mapper, like I've shown on previous videos, and then adjusting, like, if you're trying to speed up a song to match a faster tempo, like you're putting like some 160 BPM drums behind something, and then you slide this up to 160, and all of a sudden your audio, like your song is super fast. If you change the song's root beats per minute to 160, the song will sound normal while having faster drums behind it, and then they won't sound like they're the Alvin and the Chipmunks being sped up super fast. I'm assuming that's what you mean, but I don't exactly know. So if this doesn't help, please message me again, Duarte, or whatever your name is here. And last but not least, my lemon squeezers, do a tutorial on dubstep. My short answer for this is no. I am not a big fan. I have a lot of dubstep samples. I'm not good at it. I don't even honestly consider it to be a genre of music. It's a subgenre that's honestly not built around much of anything. It's just a bunch of random bullshit. That's usually like, let's have some high build-ups, and then like let's have a bass drop, and then have like some weird wobbly bass and some weird industrial and drum and bass drums, and then repeat, rinse and repeat, and then that's usually it. So I may, if I get more time, or I may end up working with a friend of mine, have him make a song, and then we'll explain it together, and then that might be a more feasible option than just me doing it, because I just won't. Alright guys, well I think this has taken me long enough finally, again, as usual. So I'm going to bounce out of here. Remember, go to acidplanet.com, sign up, join the forums, and participate in the battles for a chance to win Darth's custom-created loop library sample and custom CD case that he will design just for you! And, yep, we're out here. Thanks, guys. And remember to subscribe, get your friends that are interested in music to subscribe, and that way we can have more people trying to win this stuff, and have a better chance of someone taking it. Alright, later.